prior to the passage of those laws, we lived in a system where, for the most part, employers in the private sector did not have to disclose anything publicly about pay. Not only were workers completely in the dark about whether pay practices were fair or not, most employers had no incentive to even think about their pay scales, establish fair pay scales, or to correct problematic pay disparities, because generally no one was ever going to know about them. That changed overnight based on our initial laws in New York City and New York State that now require employers to disclose pay ranges in job postings. Mandating this type of disclosure creates a baseline of accountability that was never there before. But we have more to do to achieve some of the things we couldn't push through originally and to close the loopholes in our law. So I'm going to turn to what these new bills do and why. So first and foremost, both the city and state bills would require employers to disclose to current employees upon hire and upon request the current range of compensation, including base and other forms of monetary and non-monetary compensation for the employee's current job title. And the state bill goes a little farther, but this amendment is essential for pay equity. Currently, our state Equal Pay Act mandates equal pay for substantially similar work based on gender, race, and other protected characteristics. This law cannot function as intended if workers are denied access to basic comparative information about compensation from their employer. Yet currently, workers have no way of accessing this information, and when they ask, they're typically denied in a way that immunizes their employers and makes it impossible for them to verify a pay disparity. Both the New York City and New York State bills will also advance broader transparency by requiring disclosure of non-salary or non-wage compensation, including bonuses, stocks, bonds, options, and equity or ownership. Because the gender pay gap is driven not just by gaps in base wages, but in sizable gaps in bonuses and other forms of discretionary compensation. Third, both the New York City and New York State bills will mandate disclosure of general information about core benefits, including health insurance benefits, paid time off, paid disability insurance, and paid family leave. Fourth, both the New York City and New York State bills require employers to include a job description. Job descriptions are a critical piece to pay transparency and to fair pay practices because they provide essential context to explain a salary range, and they give workers key information about what a job entails in order to assess a salary that's being offered. Lastly, both bills include provisions to close a number of notable loopholes. Under our current law, we have seen a variety of instances in which employers have tried to circumvent compliance. To address the loopholes, the bills require employers to maintain records if they pay outside the advertised range, and require disclosure of information regardless of whether an employer issues a job advertisement. The bill will also provide more context to the definition of range of compensation to encourage more accurate and objective ranges.